Magandang araw. Ang lesson natin ngayon ay geometric means and geometric mean, no? Ano ba ito? Um, by definition, if A, x sub 1, x sub 2, up to x sub m, up to B is a geometric sequence, then x sub 1, x sub 2, up to x sub m are the m geometric means between A and B. Anong ibig sabihin? Kung ito ay geometric mean, then si A at si B ay extremes, geometric extremes. Lahat ng nasa gitna nila na terms, ang tawag doon ay geometric means. Geometric means. So in this case, we have m number of terms between A and B. So that would be m geometric means between A and B. Okay. Now, what if we only have one geometric mean, or we are to get geometric mean between A and B? Remember, this is singular. Geometric mean between A and B. So the formula would be this. If A and B are both positive, then the geometric mean is simply the positive square root of A times B. Now, on the other hand, if A and B are both negative, then the geometric mean between A and B should be the negative square root of A times B. So take note, if two numbers are both positive, the geometric mean is also positive. While if A and B are both negative, then the geometric mean would be negative. Now, what if A and B are of opposite signs? Ganito lang yan. So pag magkaiba sila ng sign, there is no geometric mean. The geometric mean does not exist. That's simple. Now, let's try to solve some problems involving geometric mean first. Later on, we'll have geometric means. So let us have geometric mean. Find the geometric mean of 4 and 16. So in letter A, 4 and 16 are both positive. Take note, if two numbers are both positive, then the geometric mean should also be positive. So the geometric mean is the positive square root of A times B. Just substitute the given. Our A is 4. Our B is 16. So 4 times 16 is 64. So the square root of 64 is 8. Therefore, the geometric mean of 4 and 16 is 8. That's simple. Let us have letter B. Now, for letter B, we have 15 and 20, and we want to determine the geometric mean between 15 and 20. So using the same formula, since 15 and 20 are both positive, then the geometric mean would be positive square root of A times B. So our A is 15, our B is 20. So 15 times 20 is 300. So we have the square root of 300. Now since 300 is not perfect square, then let's simplify the radical by factoring. So we have the square root of 300 can be factored into 3 times 100. So 100 is a perfect square, so just take the square root of 100, that would be 10. Since 3 is not a perfect square, then sa loob lang siya ng square root symbol. So therefore, the geometric mean between 15 and 20 is 10 square root of 3. That's simple. Now, let us have another problem. Let us have letter C. Now, for letter C, we have here negative 3 and negative 27. Both numbers are negative. So if both numbers are negative, then the geometric mean would also be negative. That would be negative square root of A times B. So negative square root, our A is negative 3 times our B is negative 27. So let's multiply. Negative 3 times negative 27 is positive 81. Then take the square root of 81. So the square root of 81 is 9. So therefore, the geometric mean is negative 9. So the geometric mean between negative 3 and negative 27 is negative 9. Okay, now for letter D, we have negative 5 and positive 12. So take note, they are of opposite signs. Remember the rule, if two numbers are of opposite signs, then the geometric mean does not exist. So, just simply write, no geometric mean. So negative 5 and positive 12 do not have geometric mean. That's simple. Now, let us go to finding m geometric means between two terms A and B. Ano yun? So M here may represent any number. Let's say 2 geometric means, 3 geometric means, and so on. So if that would be the case, how do we determine the geometric mean between two numbers A and B? Say for example, we have 1 and 8. Now we want to insert two geometric means between 1 and 8. So how do we do it? First, sulat muna natin si 1. Tapos maglagay tayo ng dalawang blank for the two geometric means and then followed by 8. Okay, so the first step is determine the common ratio. So, kasi hindi pa natin alam kung anong common ratio, so that would be the first step. So, how do we determine the common ratio? So, these are the formulas for the common ratio. Now, the common ratio represented by R is equal to n minus kth root of a sub n over a sub k. Now, this is R if n minus k is odd integer. Now, on the other hand, if n minus k is an even integer, then we have to use this formula. Maglalagay tayo ng plus minus before the radical. So that would be plus minus the n minus kth root of the square root of a sub n over a sub k. Ano itong a sub n saka a sub k na to? Simple lang yan. Let's go back to the problem. So, in the problem, we are to insert two geometric means between 1 and 8. So, since 1 is our first term, that would be a sub n, and 8 would be our last term. In this case, that is the fourth term. So, yung first term, we are going to let that as a sub k, and the last term would be a sub n. So, therefore, since our a sub k is a sub 1, then the value of k is 1. And since our a sub n is a sub 4, then the value of n is 4. Yun lang. So, first, we have to check the value of n minus k. Remember the rules. If n minus k is odd, walang plus minus. Pero kapag even, may plus minus. So, let's solve for n minus k first. So, n minus k is equal to 4 minus 1. And 4 minus 1 is 3. So, in this case, this is odd. So, walang plus minus. So, the ratio is equal to the n minus kth root of a sub n over a sub 1. So, wala tayong plus minus before the radical. So, let's substitute all the given. So, our n minus k is 3. So, we are actually getting the cube root of a sub n. In this case, our a sub n is a sub 4. And our a sub k is a sub 1. So, a sub 1 is equal to the cube root of our a sub 4 is 8. So, substitute 8 and our a sub 1 is 1. So, substitute 1 and simplify. So, this is now the cube root of 8. And we know that the cube root of 8 is 2. So, therefore, the common ratio is 2. So, let us write our common ratio here para mas madaling mag-check, no? So, we have 1 times 2. So, remember that the common ratio is multiplied to the preceding term to determine the next. So, tina-times natin yung common ratio to determine the next terms. So, 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2, that would be 8. So, therefore, the two geometric means between 1 and 8 are 2 and 4. That's simple. Napaka-simple lang. Okay. Now, let's try to answer another problem here. So, we have to insert 5 geometric means between 32 and 1/2. So, isulat muna natin 32, tapos 5 blanks kasi 5 geometric means, tapos 1/2. Okay. So, this is our a sub 1. That would be our a sub k. So, therefore, our k is 1. And this is our last term. In this case, we have 5, 6, 7. So, this is the 7th term. So, therefore, our n is 7. So, let us check first for n minus k. So, n minus k is equal to 7 minus 1. 7 minus 1 is 6. We know that 6 is even. So, maglalagay tayo ng plus minus before the radical sign in finding the common ratio. So, using the formula for the common ratio, a is equal to plus minus n minus kth root of a sub n over a sub k. So, remember, may plus minus kasi even yung n minus k natin. So, ilagay natin. So, this is plus minus. Substitute the given. So, n minus k is 6. So we are actually finding the sixth root of a sub n is a sub 7 over a sub 1. Okay, now let us substitute the given. Our a sub 7 is 1/2 over a sub 1 is 32. So remember the rules in simplifying fractions. So isulat muna natin. So we have the sixth root of 1/2 over 32. So remember, when we are simplifying fractions or dividing fractions, get the reciprocal of the denominator and then multiply it to the numerator. So paano yan? So let's proceed. So we have plus minus sixth root of, so write first the numerator, that's 1/2, times the denominator, reciprocal of the denominator. So the reciprocal of 32 is 1 over 32. That's simple. Then simplify. So we have plus minus the sixth root of 1 times 1 is 1 over 2 times 32, 64. Now let's simplify. Para mas malinaw ito, actually, pwede nating paghiwalayin yung dalawang yung numerator sa denominator into this. So we have plus minus the sixth root of 1 over the sixth root of 64. Yan. Kung nahihirapan kayong mag-simplify na diretso. So the ratio would be plus minus. What is the sixth root of 1? That would be 1 over the sixth root of 64. We know that 64 is 2 raised to 6. 2 raised to 6. So 64 is equal to 2 raised to 6. That means the sixth root of 64 would be, cancel this, 2. So therefore, the common ratio is either positive 1/2 or negative 1/2. So as you can see, if n minus k is even, there are two possible values for the ratio. One is positive, the other is negative. So that means we have to get two sets of geometric means. So let's see. So dun muna tayo sa positive 1/2. At r is equal to positive 1/2, check natin kung ano yung magiging geometric means natin. So 32, then we have 5 blanks. Then 1/2 sa dulo. So 32 times 1, 32 divided by 2, 16. Times 1, 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 times 1 is 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2 divided by 2 is 1. I-check natin yung dulo ha. 1 times 1 is 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. So therefore, if the ratio is 1/2, the geometric means are 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1. Now on the other hand, if the ratio is negative 1/2, so let's find the terms. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1/2. So 32 times negative 1 is negative 32 divided by 2, negative 16. Negative 16 times negative 1 is positive 16 divided by 2 is positive 8. 8 times negative 1 is negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4 divided by 2 is positive 2. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Check natin yung dulo. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. So as you can see, if the ratio is negative, the signs alternate. So positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. So if the ratio is negative 1/2, these are the geometric means between 32 and 1/2. That's it. Very simple. Madali lang. Okay. Now, we still have here three remaining problems. We have number 4. Insert 4 geometric means between negative 3 and 96. For number 5, find the missing term of the geometric sequence blank, 100, blank, blank, negative 4/5 blank. So we know that these two terms here are two geometric means of 100 and negative 4/5. And in the last term, find the missing terms of the geometric sequence 5x cubed and 80x raised to 11. So we know that these three missing terms here are three geometric means of 5x cubed and 80x raised to 11. So perhaps you are able to grasp o naintindihan siguro ninyo yung discussion ko. So, siguro naman, kaya nyo nang sagutan yung 4, 5, and 6. That will be for your practice, no? Para ma-master ninyo. That would be very easy. Good luck!